Hey guys, it's quote unquote your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great response video. So, um, you know, I really enjoy I don't know what you call it, YouTube drama, internet drama, social media drama. Not really much of a participant in it of myself. Really any of a participant in it myself. I certainly don't want to be part of it, but I like watching it and reading about it. In fact, and this has always been the case, as long as there's been these things, I'm actually, the internet drama that I've been the most interested in was actually has nothing to do with any pills or the manosphere or even politics. It's the you guys, most of you guys probably don't remember him, but the angry video game nerd from back in the early days of YouTube. So following the drama around him. Uh, Now, the granted, like the more conventional drama, that like more normie types, like I'm not really interested in. That's stuff's all fucking stupid. But yeah, like I guess like more offbeat internet drama. So I like this manosphere drama, at least somewhat. But as long as I've been in doing black pill stuff, um, really as long as I've been on the internet, I've dealt with and come across, because most of the people who I talk about on here, I've never dealt with. I've either dealt with directly or I've come across people who, I've liked and disliked and admired and had contempt for, or, felt like all different ways. There is only one person I've ever seen that's scared me, and it's Anthony Johnson, Anthony Dream Johnson. He something about him really scares me. The dude is just like so crazy. Like he just radiates like a like just such an insanity that there's really no comparison with it in certainly nowhere else in the manosphere, which is saying a lot. But he would definitely, like, if you were going to say like pick one guy from the manosphere, one notable guy from the manosphere who's going to go on a shooting rampage, I would say, oh, Anthony Johnson. Like, like far and away would be the first person that I would name. Um, and then, apparently now he's wifed up with a girl who's seems to maybe even be crazier than he is. So I definitely fear for those kids. But I mean, I guess, crazy people need love too, right? So I'm glad that they've found each other. So anyway, somebody in my comments had mentioned that Anthony Johnson had done a takedown of Rollo, and I was like, oh, that sounds like it should be interesting, but um, but I don't know. But I guess I just kind of didn't get around to it until I was on Twitter, and I guess I came across one of Anthony. I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his fiance or what. Anthony Johnson's fiance or girlfriend. I don't know. I came across one of her videos, and I was like, "Holy shit, this girl is nuts!" And then I saw like, "Oh, she's with She's with Anthony Johnson." Okay, now it all makes sense. So that kind of like triggered it. I was like, maybe I should go like give his stuff another look, just to see if there was any good content on there to talk about. And then I came across this one he did bashing Rollo, which is something that I knew that I kind of uh, would be something that I would want to at least look at. Um, I don't think it would be fair for me to just do a response video to it because the video is pretty good. I mean, it's whatever you think of Anthony Johnson, the video is pretty good, and it would be just pure blatant content stealing if I were to do like a response to his video, especially since I'm either agreeing with or neutral with most of his points. So I would say if you're interested, go watch his video. Go watch his video directly. Um, but I was surprised because I mean, like he's still like really scary in it. He still like really seems like insane, but he didn't seem like as insane as in that video he did that I think I don't know if he's most famous for it. The one where like he like literally doesn't move for the entire 8 minutes, where he declares himself president of the manosphere or whatever. Um, it seems like this guy, like I mean, like he can't get along with anybody. I don't know if I don't know what the deal is with him. Somebody tried to explain me the drama with 21 Studios, but I don't know anything about it. And I know I said I'm into internet drama, but I don't really want to go into the weeds. I'm really more interested in Rollo because he's somebody I'm familiar with. And but I did want to say one thing though about Anthony Johnson, where he gets a lot of flack for being like crazy and and justifiably so, for being insane and saying he's making the manosphere look like a joke and shit like that. But if I'm being honest, like if you really think about it, like isn't somebody like Anthony Johnson actually more admirable than the Fresh and the Fit or Rollo or these other guys? Because Anthony Johnson, like, yes, he's fucking out of his mind, but he makes no pretenses. Like these other guys just want to go on and just bitch about women and stuff. Anthony Johnson just comes flat out and says like women belong in the kitchen. And he said like all these like these trad thoughts are all a bunch of larpers and shit like that. And he says like, he's just going to be like unapologetically. He doesn't try to sugarcoat it. He doesn't try to hide behind anything. He's just going to tell you what he thinks. And whether you like it or not, his worldview is much more logically consistent, much more honest, much more logically inconsistent than these other guys who hide behind layers of nuance and shit. And now I'm not saying that the Rollos and Myrons all secretly agree with Anthony Johnson's worldview. I don't think they do, but I think that they're very sympathetic with it. And again, like I said, they're Anthony's worldview is more logically consistent than theirs and more intellectually honest than theirs. I mean, because you see what theirs ends up, Anthony talks about whatever he talks about. I don't know, but their thing is mainly just bitching about the same shit they've been since there was before there was a manosphere. Since I was looking at men's rights shit back in college in like 2003. When Angry Harry was the biggest men's movement sites. Um, that's what like a lot of this shit is. But anyway, there was one thing in this video, and I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive. Maybe I had already said this. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this Brittany Renner chick. She's she doesn't really do that much for me, but she's generally considered attractive, and in a conventional sense, she is. She's just not really my type. Um, but she's kind of like an FDS typer, and she's fucking nuthead. She's completely off the wall. Although she can put on a good front and act like she isn't insane at some other times. And I guess that she's like mainly an NBA groupie. That's what she's mainly known for. I don't know. And so Anthony, like is talking about Rollo bashing the manager of Fresh and the Fit, who's some like DJ something. I can't remember what his name is, like DJ Linguistics or something. I don't know. I'm sure they'll say it again here. And the but he shows the clip. It shows I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but I'm thinking maybe I want to go and watch it now if I can find it. And it's this girl, this Brittany Renner girl, just comes in and completely dominates the two of them. Brittany Renner just completely dominates the two of them. I'm talking about what's his name, Myron and Fresh. Now Fresh, I don't know because he doesn't really say anything, and I'm not sure if he really believes any of this stuff because I don't think anybody knows what he believes because he never talks. But I mean, she just destroys Myron to the point where I mean it's really awkward. And if you want to see a guy just get trounced in a conversation with a woman, here it is. So let's get into it now.
The Super 304, Hozilla, right?
You said that you warn guys about girls like me, so tell me about girls like me.
Just women in general. Well,
no, don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here
this is all off-camera conversation.
that you did say that you warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls.
I'm not special.
You're like other women that are.
So what makes you special then?
Okay, so starting off here, I mean, just look at the poise she has. She's totally in control. Look at her posture. Great posture. She goes in there and she's firm. She's firm, and you can tell that maybe there's like some anger there, but she's so in control. And she's just looking straight at him, but it's not in like some forced faux alpha male way. This is just a naturally very strong and confident woman. Not trying to, I'm sorry, maybe this sounds simpish. I really don't mean it that way. I really don't. Again, physically, she doesn't do it for me. I've seen other things of her that she's like legitimately insane. Rollo is right about that. Like she's like has very serious psychological problems. But here, she's being, so whatever she's like, for the rest of her life, what is she, like 30 years old or something? I can't speak for the other 29 years and 364 days and 23 hours of her life. But here, that scene, that was well done. That is how you do it. That is how you play it. I would show that to man or woman. Man or woman, I would show that as an example of how you debate somebody, how you talk to people, and how you verbally confront somebody. I mean, that's as good as it gets. That was so well done. And let's see, Fresh basically just doesn't say anything because he's, I don't really know much about him. And then Myron, though, is, again, physically, he's got it all. He's tall, he's handsome. Maybe he's not like a pinup or anything, but he's a decent looking guy. And look how intimidated he is. I know that this is kind of a bad still making him look, but you could clearly see that he's like, he's really put on the spot. He's not a guy who's, despite having, seemingly having it all, he's just so insecure. He's like completely put on the back foot, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And these guys, this is, a cliche, this thing that like men are afraid of strong women. No, I don't think men are afraid of strong women. I think that men would just rather not deal with it. I mean, they're like, I don't think that men are afraid of strong women. I think that they just find, like I said, they find them unpleasant, at least romantically. So I don't think that's true. However, there are men out there who really are like actually intimidated by strong women. And you can see that, what's his name again? Myron is one of them. Like, I mean, these manosphere guys are so insecure, and they're not like, some people might go and try to attack them like for their physical appearance and stuff, but often for the physical appearance, they're really not that bad, or they're actually even kind of above average. So it's not that. It's really more of that they're just so fragile. These are like the most fragile guys in the world. And I'm not trying to attack their masculinity. They're all masculine guys. Okay. They all, Rich Cooper, look, I don't like him either. He's a masculine guy. And, but they're so fragile. So anyway, we'll get back into it.
Ben. I never said I was.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
I love it. I love it. It's I love it. Just so she comes in. She comes in and she's like, okay, look, I'm here now. You said I'm part of the problem. We're face to face. Let's talk about what you said. And what does Myron do? What is the first thing Myron does? What everybody does in that situation where you're like, you've been caught flat-footed and you're off guard. He tries to laugh it off. He does like the nervous laughing it off. which is why I'm always mindful. I mean, I can't help it because it's so instinctive, but I've had this happen in sales. And by the way, I'm guessing that a lot of you guys probably find it annoying when I constantly bring up sales stuff. But remember, when I bring up stuff, it's all in reference. Anything I talk about, I'm going to use stuff in my life that I can think of reference points to. It's not meant to be an exact analogy. It's just that like it's easier for me to explain that way when I'm talking about stuff I know. So I'm not saying that sales is like everything, but in sales, I've had this happen where I've like cold called people, right? And you immediately get them saying shit like I'd be like, hey, this is Ballface 8020 from I don't work for Sleazy Ricardo's discount auto insurance anymore, but when I did, and I was making a lot more cold calls, I would be like, hey, this is Ballface 8020 from Sleazy Ricardo's discount auto insurance. Do I have Rob? And and then you'll get these. I mean, this is one I'm still pissed about it when I think about it. The prick says, the first thing he says is not who is this or oh, okay or no. He goes just like, what do you want? Like oh, tough guy, huh? Tough guy, mouthing off to some cold caller on the phone. And what do? What's my reaction? I laugh. I laugh because not because it's funny, but because it's kind of like an instinctive way. I'm caught off guard and don't know how to react. And then, of course, obviously, when I recovered my bearings, I told him I didn't have time for this, and I hung up. Which was petty of me. But I can be petty sometimes. I just like to own it. But the thing, I mean, you can't say I won it, right? Because and if I did win per se, it was after the initial, shock. So I'm always mindful of trying not to do that. I feel like now it doesn't mean you can't recover, but it does mean that you've been knocked off balance if you have to do that laugh. So what I'm trying to say, and not to be too much of a spurg here, because I understand I've done a horrible job in this video, but what I'm trying to say is that when you're confronted, like in this, like verbally confronted in this type of thing, and you respond with a laugh, it's not that there's anything wrong with the laugh per se. The laugh isn't the problem. The laugh is a symptom. The symptom being that you have been knocked off balance. That's what shouldn't have happened. That's what shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't have been knocked off balance like that. If you were totally in control, you wouldn't need to use that thing to gather your bearings. So Myron laughs, and then he immediately backtracks. He just says like, well, women in general. He says women in general, and Brittany calmly, like almost like an attorney, almost just very calmly keeps him on that same point. I mean, she's really excellent in this exchange. I don't know if the whole video is like this. She calmly brings him back. She says no. She says no. That's not what you said. We're not talking about women in general. You said me personally. I'm here now, so why don't you say what you meant? And then he's had time to recover then. So he just says that you're not special. You're not any different than other girls. So he's trying to retake the control with kind of like not a direct insult, but like he's kind of answering the question, but with an insult and stuff. And honestly, his response is pretty good, for thinking of it on the fly. And then just like, I'm truly in awe. This is watching the master at work here, what Brittany does. She takes a pretty good response that he has and turns it back on him by saying, well, how does that, okay, because she said that, I think that's, I don't know what she was wanting for, or she just saw the opportunity and she got for it. She said, okay, he's basically avoided answering the question by insulting me and getting back by insulting me. So I am going to not respond to the insult. I'm going to wrap the insult around his neck. And she's like, okay, you insulted me. You said I'm not special. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel to tell girls or women that they aren't special? And it worked so well because it's open ended. I mean, everybody wants to hear the answer now, right? Like, what do you think? Because that's all Myron does, right? Is tell girls and women that they're not special. So she's saying, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real.
So and he's just completely into silence, and then he's doing the thing where he's trying to laugh it off. He's trying to laugh it off. This is not master bemusement. Okay, there are times where that is. This is a guy who is scared. He's off his game, and he's trying to like. This is just the front he's putting on. And I'm not saying I haven't done the same thing. I have. It's just human nature.
A real question. So how does that make you feel? Because if I say you're a ass nigga, that does something for me, right? If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable. Again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
And I mean, and it's completely true. It's completely true. Now, I know that I've said before to avoid insults, but you have to keep in mind I was speaking in kind of a different context. I was speaking that you avoid insulting people if you're somebody who struggles with low confidence and is trying to be more confident. Brittany Renner does not struggle with low confidence. I would say that if you are somebody who struggles with low confidence, insulting people, I don't know why, even if the person deserves the insult, but is going to, for some reason, it's going to trigger insecurities on your own part. It's because an insult competition is not something that people who aren't confident are good at. So Brittany can do it because not only is she super confident herself, but she's also, she knows she's got these guys beat. She's not worried. At this point, she's just twisting the knife. So and what she said is, also it wasn't even really, it wasn't like a butthurt type insult she made. It was like an insult that was very true and very direct. She's like, if I did say something like that to you, I could, but it wasn't really like, it was more just kind of giving it as an example. And then what she said, like, and she says, you're forgettable. That's what it is. And that's why I didn't want to do the show. I hate the setup and stuff. That to me, like, yes, I know that's an insult. That really wasn't the kind of insult I was talking about, because what she's saying is completely true. What she's saying is like completely true and substantive. It's not like an insult like saying like, well, you're ugly, or you're ugly and you probably have a small dick or something like that. No, she like had a very relevant, very substantive criticism, not so much an insult. So I hope I'm not saying like I'm backtracking here.
Right? Because honestly, I feel like when you've seen 2 or 3 videos, you've seen them all. Listen.
Oh, no. I would say when you've seen one, you've seen them all. And what she's saying, it's absolutely correct. So let's continue.
There's a lot of people that will not sit down and have a conversation with you just because of the comments that you guys made. Well, you made. And, well, you chimed in. So you guys are Tweedledee and Tweedledum kind of, right? So I'm just here to have a conversation with you guys.
Any fucking bartender chick in a mid.
And they laugh because they got beat. And that's that. So let's hear what Anthony has to say, though.
Your city would have done the same thing that chick did, because they're fucking bitches.
I mean, I'm not going to call them fucking bitches, obviously. I don't have a problem with the guys. That would be an insult. But what he said there, any bartender would have done the same thing. No, they wouldn't. I mean, no, because we've seen them on with other girls. We've seen them on with, girls who are, usually they're a little younger than Brittany's age, but not always. Sometimes they're older, and they steamroll them. When they're going against girls with the chat behind them, and especially when Myron has backup, because he almost always has backup, at least the ones that I've seen. It's never just, and Fresh does not count. I mean, plus he's got Fresh plus, always one other person or whatever. And not to mention the chat. And he goes and he's able to really be on the attack and just make it about them, not about him. And, so like, that's the kind of like, I mean, it's not just the setup per se, though, and it's not just the setup. It's also that they're easier for him to deal with, and that's who your typical young female bartender is going to be like. Is going to be more like the Miami girl who's on Fresh and Fit. They're not. She's not going to be like so. I think Anthony Johnson really isn't giving Brittany's just world class performance there enough credit. So I wanted to show one other thing there. I don't know if it's. You know what? Let's just keep watching for a little bit longer because this is a good part of the video. Again, if you're interested, go watch the entire video on Anthony Johnson or 21 Studios channel.
And she exposed them to all of YouTube now, right? Once again, that they're beta bitches, Fresh and Fit, fake.
Well, I don't know if Fresh is. Myron... I think Myron's a really good example of the limits of the alpha beta distinction. I mean, I think that you really have to look. I think if alpha beta is going to be useful at all, it has to be considered useful as a spectrum, as opposed to your alpha or your beta. So somebody may have some more alpha tendencies, somebody has more beta tendencies, and it can depend on situations and stuff like that. Because I don't really think of Myron as just the classic beta male. I see him more as typical super fragile narcissist, because narcissists are always very fragile. Super fragile narcissist who is, even by narcissist standards, very insecure. A guy whose value, whose self-image and sense of self-worth comes essentially entirely from his relationship with pretty much the entire female gender. So like women, and I think you saw it with guys like Roosh too. Like, women need to be a certain way as his own means of dealing with his insecurity. And this is why they'll often come off as more hostile to women than to just other men who they disagree with. So no, I don't think that they're beta male bitches. I think that's what they are is what Myron is weak. But even weak is the wrong word. I mean, again, he's a big, strong guy. Probably could do really well in a fight. I don't know if weak is the right word. I want to say that it's fragile. He's fragile. I think that's what it is.
Fake and fraud are the golden goose for Rollo to sell his books, the gullible little simps, right? Little simperoos, little simpanzees. Gosh, dude.
I mean, yeah, that's okay. That's absolutely true. But also, there's more to it than that. I mean, Rollo very clearly. I mean, you go watch some of Rollo's shit. And actually, no, don't. But if you do watch Rollo's shit, you'll see this is his life. He really does care about this. He takes it seriously, and Rollo seems to believe that I don't know what's the deal with Fresh is, but he seems to genuinely believe that Myron is his protege, and Myron has made it. So it's a real sign of made it as far as Manosphere goes. I mean, has there ever been a Manospherian with as much mainstream success as Myron? I don't think so, or close to mainstream success. So, I mean, unless you want to call, like Tom Likas, but that was pre-Manosphere. So yeah, I think that Rollo, it's not just about the money.
Is a very easily the most simpish blue pill
guy you will ever want to meet. Now, remember what I said, and maybe I did him dirty, but like, remember what I said about Mike Rashid? I said he was a blue pill alpha.
Okay, I don't know who Mike Rashid is, but this is what Rollo said there did him dirty. I was like, when I heard him say that, I was like, like something about it just didn't seem right. And I was thinking about it. I was like, why did that seem so off to me? And I realized because there's really only two groups of people who say that. One is blacks, and I don't even know if they say it anymore. If I have any black viewers, you can leave in the comments if black people still say it. The other is white liberals. White liberals really say it a lot. I've never heard somebody who's not one of those two groups say it. So I'm thinking, like, I'm just trying to think of why he would have said it. Like, I'm almost kind of even, I'm just kind of confused where he would have even got it, where he would have even heard it. Like, I'm only familiar with the phrase because I read so much white liberal stuff. That's the only reason I even, that I'm even familiar with it. And so I'm kind of wondering, like, where he even got it. And I'm thinking that what maybe happened is that somebody, like, he's heard Myron or Fresh say it. That's the only thing I could think of, is that maybe he's heard them say it, and that he picked it up from them. But it's like, it just came out sounding like and he doesn't know that, like, it's not really like, he's not really the kind of person who would say that term. I mean, he can say whatever he wants. I mean, Rollo can say whatever he wants. And maybe I was a little too hard on him last time with the "ain't nobody got time for that," because I think he was actually making reference to, like, a sound clip there. But in whatever the case is, Rollo can say whatever he wants. I don't have any authority to language police, even if I did have the interest. It's not that. It's that it's just it's so weird that it needs to be pointed out. Like, that this is not normal behavior. Doesn't mean he's wrong about stuff, but it's worth noting just how weird these guys are and how weird Rollo is.
Andrew Schultz is 38 years old. He got married about the middle of December of last year of 2021. Akasha's, I believe, has been married for 2 years. He mentioned
that guy's 38. He's younger than me. He looks great.
That later on in the show, which I actually watched the whole damn show. Thank you very much. I do.
Yeah, I thought weren't you the one saying that nobody has time to watch, like, a 20-minute clip, and you watched the whole show of that shit?
My homework. And the girl that he's with is way out of his league. Way.
Yeah, she is. She really is. If you've seen her, I mean, maybe I've mentioned it before.
Yes, SMV value way above his own, and if he wasn't a semi-successful, comedian, if he wasn't doing what he's doing, if he didn't have it,
I don't know if that's his name. There's some other dude named Rollo Tomasi or something.
Oh yeah, he was like, I tried to watch that thing. He was on us, and I saw him.
Yeah, he started on me. He said, academics, he's not your friend. He's a snake. And I'm like,
dude, this guy. It's like, first of all, like, oh, dude, don't even get me started. Like, you can't take advice from motherfuckers that you don't want to be. You know what I mean? Like, if you looking at a dude like that, like, first of all, just look at it like, do I want to be this guy? This is the future if I follow this. You know what I mean? Like, my understanding of.
Okay, first of all, Andrew Schultz is one of the biggest douchebags I've ever seen in my life. The guy is, like, the way he talks, his face, his facial expressions, his body language. Guy is a massive tool. What's his name referred to? Rollo was calling it after. He's a blue-pilled alpha, which is, I mean, it's true. I mean, nothing wrong with being blue-pilled, nothing wrong with being alpha, but it's when you combine them both together, you get often a pretty obnoxious result, like Andrew Schultz. I mean, Andrew Schultz would probably be obnoxious anyway. However, I can't think of anybody who sums up like the whole Rollo thing better than what he just did right there.
A loser is in a dead bedroom sexless marriage that he coaches guys about on the internet all day, in total hypocritical psychological projection mode. He's just narrating his own shitty life, where his wife runs his ass in circles because he's a loser.
Yeah, but dude, that's everybody in the manosphere. Man, I mean, this is something that what's his name's been talking about for a long time. That Coach Blackpill's been talking about this shit for forever, way before you were bringing it up. This is like every guy in the manosphere. in one sense, one of the reasons that Myron may be kind of successful is because he kind of, I mean, he is young and he is having, success with thoughts, at least some, maybe not as much as he puts on. So, these other guys are like, older guys selling, quote unquote masculinity to naive younger guys. So, I mean, but it's everybody. It's everybody in this scene, pretty much. Not including guys who, this Anthony Johnson mentioned earlier in this video as guys that, he was either friends with or that he respected, doing the same thing that Rollo is doing.
Loser. That's why he goes on the internet all day, about women and because he's in a sexless marriage. Do you think husbands in healthy marriages, 7 days a week and do you think they act like this guy? Do you think they about women constantly?
No, I mean, absolutely. And I'm glad, I mean, no, absolutely not. And this kind of gets back to what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to make it sound like I admire Anthony Johnson. Like, again, I said, the guy outright scares me. I'm not thinking he's a good example for men or for young men, but there's more honesty here. And, there's more honesty here. And to the point where I think that it would be less potentially dangerous than, like that, who's that Russian guy, Red Pill Chris. Maybe he had found somebody like Anthony Johnson first before Rollo, he'd be in a better place right now. I mean, it would still be bad, but it would be better. It would be better than where he's gotten with Rollo. I mean, the manosphere isn't good for anybody, but I think that Anthony Johnson's version may actually be less toxic.
You think they talk about their 20s all day long on the internet, the little 18-year-old kids on YouTube and No. Guys who do that are in
yeah, but I haven't really heard Rollo say much about his 20s, to tell you the truth.
Miserable dead bedroom marriages. Bottom line is the fraud father Rollo Tomasi wants to be a kingmaker in the manosphere, and he's not. If we don't kiss the ring, it pisses him off, and his narcissistic delusions of grandeur. It's sick.
Well, I don't know if Anthony should be talking about somebody else's narcissism, but yeah, he's dead on here.
And he will use his own fans, just like he tried to use my attendees, as a human shield or a tool, a pawn, to make money for himself and sell books and create drama and all this sick shit. He's using it about the men, he's about the red pill, he's about the message. It's all about.
Oh no, I couldn't disagree more. I couldn't disagree more. If you want to say the most important thing to him is the most important thing to Rollo is Rollo, yes. And if you want to say that the success of the red pill or the manosphere or whatever is he can't differentiate between the two, that Rollo and the manosphere are one in his mind, absolutely, because he's a narcissist. But don't tell me he doesn't care about the manosphere and the red pill. It's his life. It's his life's work. He definitely cares.
All about him.
I mean, it would be better if he didn't. It would be better if it was all about him. Unfortunately, it's not.
Feeding his God complex, Messiah complex, Savior complex, right? So he talks about all the time saving lives, as if he runs a suicide hotline. Nothing could be further from the truth. So when he gets exposed recently by Kevin Ray Wilder and Coach Whitepill for accusing them of getting guys killed by just criticizing him, right? He's above criticism like a god, right? It's like Jesus or something, right? He's just perfect, right? He actually said that on video about Kevin Ray Wilder and Coach Whitepill.
They are
See, I don't know what the hell's going on here. So I probably should have stopped the video now, but at this point, let's just keep going. Listen to Rollo's rant, because it is weird to see Rollo lose his cool like this.
Masquerading as people. White pill guys, you're on the same fucking boat. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes you apology. Your guys are an obstacle to men's progress. That's what you are. I'm not saying you're responsible for their suicides or anything like that. And you know what the net result of that is? Is that guys are hurting. Guys die because of you. Because of this shit. That's why.
Rollo, I know you're going to watch this. So let me give you a final message. Maybe you can man the up for once, although I don't expect you to, of course. You're going to watch this video and you're going to cry. Just like you watch DJ Academics roast your ass and cry after you attack.
All right, so I guess that's it for there. There was another part, though, where he was talking about, and maybe I'll show it later if I can find it, where he's on with Lawrence Southern. Anthony says that Lawrence Southern steamrolled him. I don't know. Now, I mean, I previously had no interest, but now I want to see it. I mean, Lawrence Southern, you're losing to fucking Lawrence Southern, who actually, She actually didn't look that bad, by the way. I mean, last couple times I've seen her, she looked like, she had destroyed her face with Botox and surgery, but she actually looked okay. But anyway, whatever. That's not what I'm here to talk about. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what was going on there, but maybe we can talk about that later. And Anthony Johnson, like I said, if you see the video, you guys got a taste of it here. I think he did a good job. So, I mean, to the point where I'm actually probably gonna watch some of his other content, to tell you the truth. To see. But anyway, that's all for now. I know I really fucked this video up, and I'm sorry, but that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Will be better.